Welcome everybody to our show. You get on my damn nerves. This is the very first episode, and we're excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm actually really nervous. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about finances and budgeting in your marriage and the roles that husbands and wives have in finances. So this should be fun. So what would you say your role is in our marriage in terms of finances?
I'm definitely the budgeter. I'm always the guy who's like focused on what we're spending and especially not for everything, but for most things.
Right. What would you say mine is?
Free spirit spender. All the way.
I agree. I hate budgeting. I love spending. I just really hate budgeting.
I've always been a budgeter. I've always been someone who, when growing up, they're always like, budget this, always, Dave Ramsey. And my better half over here is, challenges me on a daily basis on, can we stick to the budget? Is it really there for a reason, or is it just there to make me happy?
We
right?
really needed 3 gallons of milk, not 1. Have a backup for the backup. Yeah, so I'm the spender. Did I really need that new boots that I bought when I went to New York? Yes. If you ask him, he'd probably say no. I had enough and I probably have a different pair of boots, but it brought me joy, so I just did it. But again, we'll get into the ins and outs of how our marriage works, and I'm curious to hear how you guys' marriage works. Do you want to explain how we have our marriage set up in terms of finances?
Sure, happy to do that. We have 2 separate bank accounts, and we have 1 mutual account. Now, the mutual account we use is for the bills of the house, the bills that occur every month, including groceries, which is the main topic of today of what we deal with on a daily basis for a challenge. But that's how we do things. We're very independent. We're both very type A, and we feel like we should have control of our own budget. Now, that being said, the mutual budget is the one, as I mentioned, pays all the bills.
And if we're being honest, sometimes I don't do that great with that budget either.
Yeah, and well, we've worked some things out with that, which we'll talk about as well with Venmo. Venmo's a great tool, and it's helped us a lot with the mutual budget for our monthly reoccurring bills as well.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it really has. And on top of that, I think, we have used, Google Sheets to kind of track. This is just for groceries. I don't think we really use this for anything else, but we use Google Sheets and stuff to kind of track spending and things like that. So I know it's kind of maybe old school, but it works for us, and we've been using that for quite a few years now.
So one example that we're going to share with you guys is groceries. It's something that a lot of people deal with every week, every 2 weeks, depending on how often you buy groceries. And it's something we deal with every week. We buy groceries every week. One of the things that always happened when we were at the beginning of our relationship is, I created a budget on Google Sheets, and after we create the budget, she would just go and buy groceries.
I remember this.
And I would think that she would look at that budget, but it was never the case. It was always, hey, what'd you spend? And she'd be like, don't worry about it. We need food.
It's true. We did need food, so I feel like if we need food in this house, it shouldn't matter how much, because we need food. It shouldn't matter how much I spend, because we need, am I crazy?
we do need food. So when she said we need food, I was like, yeah, we do need food, but we need food for 2 people, right? Not food for 4 or 5 people, because we don't have.
I think I got that from my mom, because growing up, a lot of the stuff that you're going to hear us talk about has to do with the way that we were brought up. And my mom always had a full fridge. It was just, I don't know. And I feel like, everybody, I'm sure when you go to your mom's house, your mom's got the goods, So I think I grew up with just, as long as your fridge is full and you're happy, don't worry about anything else. So I know today, Mom, if you're watching, you keep that shit stocked. Alex knows. That's how it was in the beginning. So it took me a really long. All right. So we have good news and bad news. The good news is, no, I'm going to start with the bad news. I'm just going to say it. We just recorded 20 plus minutes of footage for you guys. And I didn't press record like I was supposed to. But we got the audio. That's the great news. We got the audio.
I was in control of the audio.
He got the audio. And it's because I got up and he realized that I didn't have my ring for our first show. It's a learning experience, guys. You know, like.
So we hope that you can continue to listen to the rest. We're going to have some pictures going so that way you can at least be entertained. But the rest of it's going to be very clear. It's going to be all audio. And we really appreciate you just sticking with us. And like we said before, if you're liking this content, please just share it with your friends and family.
If you know anybody else that's had technical difficulties, comment below. Somebody make me feel better, please. Please. Time to kind of get away from that, because we were only 2 people and I was buying for literally like a family of 5. So things have changed, but I mean that was a huge struggle for me to get over, because I had to rewire everything that I knew about how a household is really set up. So
and I mean it's like, you know, you have these new ideas or new ways of buying groceries, right? The Kroger app, you can just buy all online. That kind of helps us with like our budgeting, but she still loves to go to the store because she likes that experience, right?
Yes, I sure do. And when I mean like I love going to the grocery store, first of all, let's be real, they play great music. They do. They play really great music. And the second thing is I love seeing all the new stuff. Like I really love going to the grocery store. Alex, on the other hand, like he's like, get the shit you need and get out. You know, but I love the experience of going to the grocery store. I feel like people would think I'm crazy, but I really do like it. I like seeing all the new stuff. I like trying all of the new things. I go down every single aisle once or twice, and I will spend 2 hours at the grocery store. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, and she'll spend the entire time there, and we'll have like a full cart, and then but you know, sometimes we'll get to the actual aisle and they'll be scanning, and all I'm thinking about is like, okay, well, we've only scanned like half of our cart and we've already passed our budget. So, I mean, hopefully she sees that and nope, you know, she just keep on and then she'll go, just here's the card. And I'm just like, what just happened?
It's true. So, I mean, that was in the beginning, right? Have we done that recently?
No, it hasn't happened.
I don't think it's happened recently, but it's, you know, there are times where I'm just like, whatever, we just got paid. Let's go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something I know I really struggle with. I hate looking at budgets. I hate budgeting. I feel like we make good money. We graduated, and I feel like we deserve to spend it how we want. And so I just kind of didn't pay attention. But I know it bothers him big time. Like, it really irritates him to the point where he almost gave up on me in terms of like, I'm just gonna update it myself. But I've tried to get better at it. In fact, we just ordered groceries today, and I think I need to update the thing. I'm still working on it, guys, is the point. But I mean, that just goes to show like it's an uphill battle.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress for us. For me, for sure, all the time. But I mean, that's something small. What do you think, like the big stuff, you know, like houses and maybe, you know, a lot of people have kids. Like, what would you say would be like a great tool or conversation to be had about finances in those cases?
Sure. And I think that's a good point. I think if anything, when we bought our first house, like, you know, your eyes are, you know, what do they say? When it comes to eating, your eyes are more hungrier than your stomach.
Your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Right. And so, like, when it came to buying a house, it was kind of that way for us, right? You know, Stephanie would love to see these big houses, and we'd see these great houses that I would love too, right? She'd vision it, but the budget, you know, that I came up with at the time was not going to fit those houses.
I had champagne taste on a beer budget, and
yeah.
We realized it really quickly. I mean, and there were things that we didn't know when we bought our first house, and we learned really quickly with this one. This was our starter home that we're in right now, and things that you need to realize. Taxes, guys, like that's a real thing, and they go up every year, and it increases your mortgage. If y'all don't know, like, please be aware, because that was something we didn't. And
luckily we bought under our means, so that way. I mean, now the taxes, they just shock us. Like, our monthly mortgage went up a lot. Mm-hmm. And if we would have bought exactly what we were able to afford, then we would be house poor. And we love to travel. I mean, she's a travel fanatic and makes me travel a lot more now, which I love.
I make him. He loves to do it with me.
I love to do it. Yes, I do. But What I'm saying is like we wouldn't be able to do those things if we were not budgeting in the front end. You know, if we bought something that we could quote unquote afford, then we wouldn't be able to afford to do other things. And so that the budget really helped us in a lot of ways when it comes to our lifestyle and what we can do, whether it comes to groceries and when it comes to travel and buying your home. So, and we'll probably make another episode where it's all about buying your first home, because buying your first home is exciting. It's very exciting, but it's also, you got to be aware of things. And, you know, for people who have already bought the first home, though, they were probably shocked too of the things that, you know, when you become an adult that you're not aware of as a kid. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We've talked about what we struggled with. I mean, even still struggling with. For me, I'm a work in progress, guys, all the time. And I'm sure he'll say the exact same thing. So when it comes to solutions, what do you think is a really good solution that we've tried? And that others can try for like budgeting, because like we did the Dave Ramsey thing.
Yes.
I was a big fan of some of the things that he said, not all of it, but some of the things. We tried the cash envelopes.
Yes, we did try it. I don't like it.
I didn't like it either. And you probably know why, because I felt like I was stuck at the grocery store and I was going to be like, got to put stuff back. Like, it was embarrassing. So I was not a fan of that. And again, this is just how we work. I mean, I know a lot of people out there really love the envelope system or solution, and it's just something that just did not work for us. So we have the mutual account, and we share the card, and that's just something that works for us.
So to get more narrowly focused on the solution also that we do is I started using Google Sheets, right? It's very simple. Yeah. And I would keep track of, you know, every time we got paid, we'd put a certain amount of money into Google Sheets, right? And Google Sheets was our budget for groceries.
Tell them how much our budget is for groceries. You know what? I want some feedback right now. I feel like we spend a lot of money on groceries. And
you do.
The reason, and the reason why is because we go out to eat too. Like we love to go out to eat. We love going to restaurants. We love having date nights. And there were times where we did take it out the grocery thing, but tell them how much we actually have in terms of budget for groceries.
So we budget $400 a month for groceries. And in the past, we've always gone over that, but I would say we haven't really gone over that for a good almost 6 months, I would say. It's been a good solid time, and that's because she's gotten a lot better when it comes to managing or at least keeping an eye on the budget. So the way the Google Sheets works is it's very simple. You know, it's not, you don't got to be a math whiz or an Excel guru. And all I did was just make 2 columns where one is, you know, what we put in the debit.
We used our accounting, our accounting class.
One is credit, right? And so every time we got paid, I just put the date and then $100 from me, and then she got paid a date and $100 from her. Yeah. And then it would allocate at the very bottom our total. Mm-hmm. And then every time we went to the grocery store, you just put what you spend on the other column, and then it would subtract it automatically. So
that's the part I'm really bad at.
That is the part where she's really bad at, where she'll go spend money, and sometimes she'll look at the grocery list, she'll try to spend within that budget, but then forget to subtract it. I have to, constantly ask her, did you remember to do the budget? And she's no.
That or like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, that's all we got. And I'll just spend over and I'll be like, I'll Venmo later. Like I'll Venmo more money into that later. I'm telling you guys, like I'm really bad. I'm really bad when it comes to grocery budget.
I think though it's helped us a lot because even though like sometimes I have to remind her, sometimes it's the fact that now she's at least looking at it, right? And now it keeps my sanity because like we're at least staying in the budget and we're working together on it. So I'll give her a friendly nudge and be like, hey, did you remember? She'll be like, oh, I forgot. And she'll tell me, she'll like, it's this much. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'll just put it in. So we like work well together with that, where I, as long as I gotta give her a nudge, or sometimes I don't even have to, I'll just pull up the Google Sheets and then I'll be able to see, she subtracted it or she didn't. And then the good thing about the mutual account is we can check in that mutual account and it says Kroger and what we spent. So, I usually look in that just to make sure that it's the right amount, because sometimes you'll go and she'll round, and that's fine too. But sometimes it's
round an extra $100.
But sometimes the rounding is always like less than what we spend, and that's a problem. Sometimes we got to make sure it's the same. But that's helped us a lot when it comes to budgeting the everyday groceries. Mm-hmm. It's helped us a ton.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there that would like actually are big planners and they would like plan, we're going to eat this the whole week. These are the ingredients I need for that. Literally tried that too. Didn't work.
That sucks.
Just didn't work for us. I was like, I don't have time to plan. We're just going to go and I'm going to we have a general idea. We eat the same shit, honestly, like almost every week. So
We get core items.
we get the main core items that we know we need, that I know for me, that if I am going to cook that week, that I know I can make multiple things with that ingredient. So yeah.
So another thing that we budget for is our monthly bills, and there's tools that we use for that.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, we have a mutual account that we allocate money towards for our reoccurring monthly bills for the house, for electricity, everything that you can think of that you get every month, so like YouTube subscriptions and so forth. And keep in mind, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to hit subscribe and like the content, share it with your friends. We really appreciate that very much.
Or anybody who's struggling with their finances.
Yeah, share it with us. That being said, what we have found to help us a lot, and I know this is not available for many anymore, but Venmo used to have a function called Venmo Groups, and Venmo Groups was so helpful because we would create a Venmo Groups account as well. And I'm very good at like keeping track of when we need to pay our bills. And that's what I'm good at, right? And so what I would do is I would look at all the bills that need to be paid and send them to the Venmo group, which is our kind of like a mutual account for us. And what's unique about that is I would put down each thing I'm paying for.
Like we both have access to it.
Right, we both have access to that. And it would show it'll show every bill I'm paying for and then the total amount, because I would type it in. And then when I do that, she can easily just, make her job easier. She would just like look at what I spent or what I paid, and she'll just pay the exact same amount.
That works for me.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like, I'm just like, let me see how much he paid. That's how much I'm going to pay. That's how much goes into our mutual account. So that just works. I'm lazy. I'm telling you, when it comes to budgeting, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And you're okay with that.
I mean, I have to be. I have to be. As long as, we each have our strengths and weaknesses. And, when it comes to strengths, budgeting is definitely a strength of mine. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she can just follow my lead on that is fine. That's okay with me, because, the Venmo groups helps me a ton, because all I got to do is say, hey, I just paid the bills. And she just looks on there and just pays it right away.
In addition to that, something that also works, I mean, I have a direct deposit into our joint account too. Mm-hmm. So that really helps. So I don't have to remember every single time I need to pay a bill or whatever. I know that I'm adding extra money in there anyway. Even if we go over on groceries, I'm adding extra money into that too. So direct deposit, like I go for my job, like I just go in and modify my direct deposit and I have it go into our mutual account. So that's something that works. So the Venmo groups, direct deposit, what else?
So Venmo Groups isn't available anymore. Like, we're locked in. Thank God we're locked in. But what was the other option?
Split. There's an app called Splitwise. The technology's so great. Can we just put that out there? Technology is really great. There's so many good apps out there that can really help you budget. So the Venmo group was one, and then the other one, Splitwise. Splitwise I've used in the past for going on trips and stuff. We have not necessarily used it for like groceries, house, or anything like that. So, but I know that it's something where you can like split bills. You can show what bills are due and that type of thing. So, I mean, we'll put a link in the comment area and make sure that you guys can see like what apps we're using and stuff like that. And I think maybe we can share like a template of our grocery budget. I think that's something that could work too. I'm all about sharing any resources that I have. So I feel like it would be something that's good to share.
For sure. And something that works for me that I use religiously is an app called EveryDollar. EveryDollar is a great app that can track everything you spend. And it's, I'm a fan of Dave Ramsey, as she mentioned before. We watched that together. I kind of like said, you gotta watch this with me. And she watched it. And there was a great idea of, budgeting to zero, spending all of your money.
Yeah.
And spending all of your money towards savings, spending, and bills and everything is important. And this EveryDollar app would help you do that and help you allocate it. And it can actually automatically track everything you spend and put it into certain categories. And it takes a lot of work, but it's well worth it. And they do charge like a monthly subscription. I think it's like 10. Yeah, I think, you can do the free version as long as you're manually okay doing it every time, which is fine. I do that, but I do have the paid version. It's like $10. and it tracks everything. So it's really helpful, especially, if you're having challenges and, manually tracking your budget, or if you don't like to track it.
Yeah.
And it'll help you a ton.
Yeah, I know the topic of finances and money can be really sensitive to some people, and it was definitely for me in the beginning. And the reason why is because I am super independent. I like my money. I work hard for my money. This may be like a millennial thing, because I know like my grandparents and all of that, they're very old school. They're like, everything needs to be together. And I'm like, everything needs to be separate. No, like we're just total opposite. But it's a very sensitive topic for some people. Some people are very stingy with their money, like me. And but I mean, I feel like it's okay. So if you're having trouble, having those conversations about money and where to start, I think these tools will really give you a great jump start, at least. Dave Ramsey is a really, really good role model in the financial department to help couples kind of come together and be able to have those conversations. And that's where it started for us. So
yeah, Dave Ramsey is a huge help for us. And I mean, he has apps. He's all over YouTube, and I mean, he's a big deal. So I'm sure you've seen him. If not, check him out. We'll probably have a link below where you can just go to his page and check him out as well.
So I think that covers everything in terms of, I mean, we wanted to keep it short. We didn't want this to be like a whole hour-long video or anything. We just want to briefly go over what has helped us, how we started the conversation, how we struggled, and what were our solutions how we got there. So I hope this was helpful to somebody, and I would love to hear from anybody who has any feedback, some inputs. What do you guys use? How do you start these conversations? When you come to a dead end, how do you kind of turn it around and all of that? So we thank you for watching and for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed the content. I know there are so many videos out there and couples sharing their stories and all of that. So we thank you for just joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.